We know the Indiana Fever basketball team is owned by the Simon family. Yes, the Simon family.
Just in, Fever owner's son blasts Stephanie White over Clark's role change. Nobody expected this. The biggest problem for Caitlin Clark isn't a rival player or bad officiating. It's her own coach. Inside the Indiana Fever organization, tension is boiling. It starts with billionaire owners, Herb and Steve Simon, and ends with a coach who refuses to listen. After last season, sources say Steve Simon, the real power behind Pacer Sports and Entertainment, called an urgent meeting. His message was simple. From now on, it's CCT Caitlin Clark time. Build around her. But Coach Stephanie White didn't like that. Instead of celebrating, she reportedly argued, saying she'd rather build around Kelsey Mitchell. That single argument has sparked chaos. The locker room's uneasy. Fans are angry, and Clark's development is slowing down. The truth is, White's stubbornness is costing Indiana games, money, and momentum. So today, we're breaking down how one meeting turned into a war for control. And why? Unless things change soon, Caitlin Clark might be forced to walk away from a Fever altogether. The Indiana Fever are more than a basketball team. They're part of a billion-dollar empire run by the Simon family. Herb Simon owns the Fever and the Pacers. But at 90-plus years old, he's not the one making calls. His son, Steve Simon, is. Steve runs Pacers Sports and Entertainment, and he treats basketball like business. Every jersey sold, every TV rating, every seat filled, that's his scoreboard. When Caitlin Clark arrived, those numbers exploded. She turned the Fever into a national draw overnight. But when the team's play slowed down under Stephanie White, ticket sales cooled and the buzz faded. To Steve Simon, that wasn't just losing basketball. That was losing profit. He's a businessman first. And businessmen don't watch assets lose value. So when White's system dulled the product, Steve Simon reportedly stepped in. He wanted the team rebuilt around the one person who made Indiana relevant again, Caitlin Clark. And that's where the real conflict began. Before Indiana, Caitlin Clark already felt like a superstar. In Iowa, she was must-see basketball deep threes, lightning passes, and confidence that filled arenas. When the Fever drafted her, everything changed. The franchise went from overlooked to overflowing. Tickets sold out, merchandise vanished from stores, and fans lined up hours before tip-off. For the first time in years, the Fever mattered. At first, under Christie's sides, Clark had to adjust. The team struggled until they finally let her control the offense, and once they did, Indiana started winning. She pushed the pace, spread the floor, and made everyone better. The Fever even made the playoffs for the first time in ages. It looked like a new era was beginning. Fans expected the front office to double down on that success. Instead, they replaced sides with Stephanie White, a coach whose philosophy couldn't be more different. Clark's freedom vanished, and so did the excitement. The Fever went from thrilling to predictable, all because their new coach thought she knew better than the player changing the league. Stephanie White came in talking about structure and balance. But when you've got Caitlin Clark, you don't slow things down, you hand her the ball, and let her create. Instead, White installed a system that looked like a high school practice. Endless motion, forced passes, no rhythm. Clark went from leading highlight reels to standing in the corner watching plays crawl by. Those trademark logo threes gone. The arena energy disappeared. Fans noticed immediately. The Fever didn't look hungry anymore. They looked restricted, and White kept defending it, calling it discipline. Discipline doesn't win when it kills your best weapon. Every analyst could see the issue. The coach wanted control, not success. The result? Clark looked frustrated. Teammates looked confused, and the team's identity vanished. White inherited excitement and turned it into silence. And when a coach does that with a generational talent, it's not adjustment, it's failure. After the season, Steve Simon finally had enough. The team's identity is not a good thing. It's not a good thing.